Hi, welcome to Buzz's Retirement Garage here on Wednesday in Cleveland, Ohio. Got the hat up a little bit so the shadow doesn't cover my face. And I wanted today to bring up the 10 reasons that you may have some trouble in retirement, to put it mildly. Um, I got this information from the baby boomers, uh, 1946 to 1964 by Jukebox Nostalgia Facebook page. It's a group called Baby Boomers 1946-1964. There was a post made 3 days ago. Basically, it asked the question, give me your good things about retirement and bad things about retirement. So I went on there, and this is the information we're getting here is 3 days old. It's real people, not some study somewhere by some magazine or whatever. It's real people, real talk. So I wanted to give you the top 10 reasons why, or top 10 reasons of people, what they think retirement is not working, how they think it's not working for them. Now, let me preface this by saying most of the comments, a majority of the comments, said there's nothing wrong with retirement. Okay? So, I just want to make sure you understand that. Most of the comments were pro-retirement. Okay? So, when we go down this list, keep that in the way back of your mind. Okay? So, number one, and these are not in any order. These are just some observations that were made, comments that I picked up off of there, like I said. I'm going to group the first one into maybe 4 or 5 groups here. And again, it's on my notes. So, Ginger said being irrelevant. Kathleen said isolation. Lori, Mick, Joseph, and Mary Jane said being lonely and reduced social network. Now, there's fixes to that, but they feel that it's a problem in retirement for them. So if you're going to retire, about to retire, or you're into retirement now, maybe you're feeling those same type of things. I don't have an answer for it. I think there's volunteer groups out there. I think the dog and cat shelters could use help. Any volunteering or anything that you could get out there, your church groups, get out there and make yourself available. Some people don't want to make themselves available, and then they just want to say that they're bored. And again, to each his own. So number 2, Philip, Sylvia, Gary, and Jim said that the body starts to go and their health went south. Yeah, as we age, right? That's going to happen. We're not 20, 25 years old anymore. It's going to get progressively worse as we age. So, that's a retirement, but that's going to happen whether you retired or you didn't retire. But that's something that people brought up, and rightfully so. That's going to happen. Number 3, boredom. Now, I just did a video the other day about boredom, but I was surprised. Margie, Gloria, Susan, Kenny, Wyatt, Debbie, Glenn, Dolores, Arlene, and Jan all said they were bored. I don't know. I just get some hobbies. Get out there. Use your imagination. See my other video about the retired lunatic. Boredom shouldn't be an issue. You need to motivate yourself so that doesn't happen. There's a lot of ways to do that. We're not going to talk about it here because we don't have time to talk about it here, but there's so many different ways to avoid boredom or to get yourself engaged in different things. Number 4, losing your spouse. Yeah, so if you're married and you have a spouse or living together, whatever you want to call it, and the person that you're with for, in many cases, 20, 30 years, you lose them. And that's, again, that part of that aging process where And I think statistically, men go before women. And of course, the old joke, why do men go before women? Because they want to. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, that's could be a problem, you know, being a spouse that, you know, you're married for years and years, and all of a sudden that person is gone and you're trying to do everything on your own. So it's something you got to be prepared for. We've talked in other videos, making sure your spouse knows where all the bank accounts are and all the how to pay all the bills, and you know, has a way of getting the passwords and all that. And we talked about that, like I said, in another video. Very important, because yeah, eventually you're not going to die together. Normally you're not going to die together, so that is something to look out for, and it's could happen. Number 5, Maureen and Judy missing their co-workers. Judy said, missing using my brain and talents as a nurse. A lot of people have that. They retire. Now we add that boredom back to it, right? And they want to go back to work. They tested the waters, they put their toe in the waters, and they said, you know what, it's not for me, and they go get a part-time job, or they go back full-time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You need to do you. And that's the most important thing, is you need to do you. And if that's what it means financially, or you know, you're bored with you just can't find enough to do, you know, you have we talked about financial. But if you think you need to go back just because you want to be dealing with people again, you know, be a Walmart greeter, whatever it is, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But that was a concern that they brought up. Number 7, no routine. I'm sorry, number 6. Denise, Andrew, Sharon, Patsy, and Cindy said, not having the money I used to have while I was working. Well, of course, you know, you were making X amount of money, and now you're retired, and you may be getting Social Security, or you may be drawing from your 401k, or a combination of both. You may have a pension, but you know, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be less money than you were when you were working. And that's something you have to plan ahead for. You need to retire knowing that you're going to have less money, and that's a whole nother video. And there's a lot of financial experts out there. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of financial experts out there that'll talk you through that. And you should look at that well before you're going to retire, to see what the impacts of retiring are going to be on your finances and your overall wealth. And number 7, Carol said no routine. And there's a lot of comments like that. You know, the good thing is I don't have to get up and go do something. The bad thing is I don't have to get up and go do something, right? So there's a lot of comments that were, they didn't have a routine, they didn't know what to do with themselves, because you had a routine when you were working. You had a boss normally that told you what you had to get done or what the expectations were. You don't have that anymore. You're doing it yourself. And so that was a problem with some of the people that commented, that no routine issue. And that can be solved as well. A lot of people say they get up and the first thing they do is, you know, they have their coffee or something, but they'll go to the gym. You know, they're going to go somewhere. They go to the library. They go to the gym. They go do their volunteer work. And they make that a habit, a daily habit, or, you know, every couple days they're doing it. So that could be something worked out. Number 8, Kurt and Joseph, I don't know why they're guys, but always near the pantry or fridge and getting fat on their trips to and from the fridge. So yeah, that could be where, you know, maybe boredom plays into that too. If you're not out doing something or whatever, you find yourself gravitating towards that refrigerator or that pantry. Yeah, a lot of people, I didn't write his comment down, but one guy said he was sitting on his rocking chair and he heard it break. And I commented to him and I said, it doesn't have anything to do with putting on some extra weight. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And, you know, he laughed back and basically said, yeah, that has all to do with it. So that can be a problem, gaining some extra weight in retirement, right? Um, Janet said, having a husband or a spouse who is also retired and is as organized as a soup sandwich. I really liked that one. That was pretty good. Uh, yeah, when you have your spouse, you know, and you're together, you've retired together, um, that could be a problem, right? Uh, if especially if one is organized and the other isn't. I know when I first retired, I was telling my wife something about the laundry, and I said, "Hey, what if we?" And she kind of put her hand up and said, "Stop talking. Laundry's mine. You don't touch it. It's my domain, and we're not talking about it." I said, "Okay." So I just backed off, right? Yeah. So you're gonna have to learn your boundaries. You have to learn your boundaries, and when you're home with your spouse, if you're both retired, boundaries are definitely a thing to try to accomplish. Um, Number 10, outliving retirement funds. Yeah, some people kind of like, you know, were concerned that, you know, their 401ks or their Roth IRAs or their pensions or whatever the money that they have coming in is, you know, they're going to outlive it. And, you know, there's a lot of videos out there, but, you know, the average age being X, and, you know, if you do the 4% rule or whatever, you know, are you going to outlive that money? So, again, talk to a financial planner on that. Because I don't know, I don't have an easy answer, but it's a concern for people. But you need to talk to your financial planner. You need to talk to somebody who is well versed in that, CPA, whoever, somebody that can guide you through and maybe give you a sense of what you should have done. I would assume before retirement, right? But in case you didn't, it's never too late to reach out to somebody and just, you know, put yourself at ease there if you can. And I'm going to leave it at this. This is the last comment, and I'll leave it at this, and we'll close this video. And by the way, thank you for the likes and the subscribers that I've gotten and the comments that I've been given. I really appreciate it. You've grown me as a person. I've learned so much from fellow YouTubers. Say that 10 times fast. I've learned from you, the commenters. Just so much information we've exchanged back and forth that I appreciate so much. Anyway, I'm going to leave this on a good note. Jeannie kind of touched me a little bit with a comment that she made, and I think it's apropos to bring it up here today. Jeannie said, "I didn't go to work until my kids were grown. I loved every job I had, and now I love being retired. My outlook on life is that happiness is a choice, and I choose happiness. Life is too short to mully-grub, and I will choose to enjoy it until God calls me home." So, this is Retirement Garage. We'll talk to you again.